Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Zselyke and I'm so excited today. We're back with Céline talking about lead generation on Google Ads. If you missed the first part, click over here where we talk in general about generating leads on Google Ads. Today we're going to be talking about generating leads on the search platform, and in the upcoming video we're going to be talking about generating leads on YouTube and Discovery. So make sure to tag along for all three, and without further ado, let's get started. Hi everyone, today again I'm back with Céline. This is part 2 of our 3 series videos where we talk about lead generation on Google Ads, and today we will dive a little bit deeper into lead generation using search ads and search extensions. So welcome Céline, I'm so glad that you joined us again.
Hello for the second time.
Okay, so just as a quick recap, in the previous video, we talked a little bit about lead generation as a search funnel. So if you think of generating conversions with your Google Ads, then using these lead generation ads would be really on the bottom part of the search funnel, where people already are familiar with your product, are familiar with your brand, and they have done their research, and you really use these lead generation ads to close the sale. So you use these lead generation ads when the user is already ready to convert and they're ready to give you their phone number or their email or whatever is it that you need to get in contact with them. So Google Ads offers 2 specific solutions for this on the platform, one of them being the lead form ad and the other one being the lead form extension.
So the main difference between lead form ads and lead form extension is the extension will appear below your ad as a small box where you could click, and then you would see the form, you would fill it, or it would be filled automatically, and then you would submit your data. So in my experience, lead form ads work much better than lead form extensions, because for the extension to even be eligible to appear in the result page, you need to first make sure that your ad is on the absolute top of the page. And then the extension will compete with any other extension that you may have set up in your campaign, which could be site links, callouts, price extensions, or any other extension. So the volumes for lead form extensions are very low, and then the click-through rates can be very low as well. So you don't see a lot of lead volumes coming through from extensions, at least in the campaign that I've run. So in the case of the lead form ads, the form sits directly under the headline. So when a user looks for a specific keyword or is looking for a product or service, they might see the ad. The ad could come with extensions, but usually they would directly click on the headline. And on the headline, you would open the form. So in this case, you would see a much higher conversion rate, a cheaper cost per lead, and all of this, obviously, if you are targeting the right user, which is the user who's already on the lower part of the funnel. So a user who is ready to convert.
So I guess we could say that these extensions work, at least also in my experience, as a nice bonus or addition for any search ad, but you shouldn't necessarily use them as part of a lead generation campaign. So if your goal is lead generation, then I think it would be better to use campaigns where you use not the extension, but actually the lead form ad.
Yes, so the lead form extension, just like any extension, is a good bonus to have as a complement to the main ad, which would drive website traffic. Another thing that we need to really insist on is that lead form ads do not generate any website traffic. So you just click on the ad and see the form. You don't get to visit the website. Another reason why targeting is super important, especially in this kind of strategy, you want to make sure that the users you're showing your lead form ads to are users ready to convert. You can show your lead form extensions to pretty much anyone.
So in this case, as part of your strategy, I think it would be a really great idea to use remarketing audiences to make sure that whoever you are targeting with your lead form ads are already familiar with your product. I actually have a video about that, so I'm gonna put it in the description box below so you can watch that afterwards. And if you use remarketing audiences, then you don't have to put such a big focus on your keywords, because then you already in a way ensure that that whoever you're targeting is already familiar with your product.
Exactly.
All right, so are we ready to jump into the setup of these ads?
Yes.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. So let me show you how to create a lead form ads campaign. You would click here on new campaign. You would select here leads, search, and here Google will ask you what is the goal of your campaign. So you want to click here on lead form submissions. Here you would rename your campaign. I personally don't use Google Search Partners or the display network, but if you do, just keep them. Here, if you want to add an end date or if you want to schedule it to go live in the future, you can do it here. In terms of locations, just go with whatever you're working on. In this example, we'll go with Spain, all languages. In the audience tab is where you would choose the remarketing audiences that you have. In terms of budget, let's go with 100 euros, but you apply whatever budget you have on your campaign. In this section, either you choose a target CPA or you could go with maximize conversion. So the target CPA, you could put here whatever you think could be a good one. Otherwise, what I usually do is I go for maximize conversion. So I will just let Google generate as many conversions as possible. And based on the cost per conversion that I get, I'll be able to decide in the future if I want to add a target CPA. Then you get to the extensions part. So here you would have your settings, call out, call extensions, and then you have the lead form extension. So you can either choose one of the ones that you currently have on your account. Otherwise, you can create a new one. In our case, we will use the new one. And this is what you will see, headline. This is what, so here you would have the headline, the business name. So example, description. We can write just this is a description. So this is what you would see. And then the questions. What do you want to collect from your users? Do you want the name? Do you want the phone number, the email, the address? As we previously mentioned on the first video, you don't want to add too much detail there. So you just want to collect the name, either on a format of full name or first and last name, which is what I would recommend actually. And then what contact details do you want? How do you want to contact your leads? It could be a phone number, it could be an email, just choose one. In this example, we'll go for phone number. And then you can ask other questions, depending on the area of business that you work in, depending on the kind of promotion you're running, or what your campaign is about, you can ask other specific questions. So for example, in retail, what is the next product you plan to purchase? If it's transportation, which valid commercial license do you have? This can help CRM teams and call centers to filter your information so you can get a call from a relevant person. So you can add an image as a background, it would appear here. And then you can create a submission message. So thank you, we'll get back to you soon. And you can also add a call to action. So let's say the user is done submitting the lead form. You want them to either download a document or visit the website. So you can just click on visit the website. You would put the URL, so example.com. And then you have another call to action. So whether it's let's go with get info and find out more. So it would appear here, but this is not really what the user will see. So you can add a call to action description here, which shows like that, but it's not really how it would appear for them. The user is not supposed to see that. So here you would see the get info, find out more, so the call to action. But what the user would see is just the first part. Then you would choose how you want to collect the lead. So either it's a manual download, or you can just install a webhook. I think on the first video we talked about Zapier.
Yes.
So here you would add the webhook URL, the key, and send the test data to make sure that the integration was done correctly. And here you can choose the lead type. So whether you want a higher intent audience that will be smaller, or if you want a lot of volumes, and then you can just click on this one. I would still go with high intent because we want to collect as many leads as possible, even if the volumes of use, even if the impression volumes are lower, I prefer having higher intent users. So we're done creating the lead form extension. As an extension, it would appear here on the ad, but this is a lead form campaign, so we will create the ad in the next step. Okay, so now we click on save. And what did we forget? Oh yeah, the privacy policy URL. It's very important. On every website there should be a URL that talks about how the data is handled. So this is where you would add this URL. So example.com. And we are good to go. Okay, so we're done creating our lead form extension. We can also choose to use other types of extensions. And we can just click on save and continue. Okay, so now the campaign settings are done. We just need to create our first ad group. So let's keep it as ad group 1. Here you would enter your keywords. Let's say this is an exact campaign. You would just enter all your keywords here. You can create several ad groups at a time. I would just go with the one since this is an example. So now that the campaign is set up and the ad groups have been created, we need to work on the ads. Here you would just create your ad as if it were a normal text ad. Okay, so we're done creating the ad, and headline 1, 2, 3 is where the user would click on to see the form that we've just created displayed. You can either create other ads. I would recommend running just one as a start, and that would be it. And then you would click on save and continue. Okay, so now it's time to review your campaign setup before it's published. If you're happy with everything that's there, you can just go ahead and publish. Okay, so this is how we create a lead form ads campaign. If you just want to create a lead form extension, you wouldn't need to create a whole new campaign for that. You can just attach a new extension to your already existing campaign, ad group or ad. You would just go to extensions, select lead form extension, and you would create your form the same way we've created it in the first part of the campaign setup. So another thing that is very important to remember is that lead form ads only run on mobile devices. If you want to run this format on desktop or tablets, you would go for an extension.
Okay, Céline, thank you so much for sharing that. And we will see you next week for part 3, where we will talk about lead generation on YouTube and discovery. So until then, thank you for making time for us.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Then thank you so much for being here. And if you have any ideas, any questions, I will really try to answer all of them. So make sure to leave them in the comment box below. And other than that, I hope you have a beautiful day.